let us look at the angle between radius vector and the tangent, the subtangent, subnormal, and the pedal equation for conics. Now, in the previous session, we have already seen the general equation of a conic in polar form. That is L by R is equal to 1 plus E cos theta. So we have to derive all these things from this. We differentiate it. L times minus 1 by R square is the derivative of 1 by R. Times, now we have to differentiate R. So dr by d theta is equal to 1 is a constant, so 0 minus E sine theta. Derivative of cos theta is minus sine theta. So we have L times 1 by R square times dr by d theta is equal to E sine theta. Let's take the reciprocal on both the sides. We get R square by L times d theta by dr is equal to 1 by E times sine theta. Now, taking L to the other side, we get R square times d theta by dr is equal to L by E times sine theta. And we know what R square times d theta by dr is. That is our polar subtangent. So here what I have done is I have substituted the value of L. So L is what? R times 1 plus E cos theta. So the polar subtangent is given by R times 1 plus E cos theta divided by E sin theta. So that was the polar subtangent. Now, R times d theta by dr is equal to 1 plus E cos theta by E sin theta. So basically from this, we have cancelled out one of the R's. R d theta by dr is what? Tan beta equal to 1 plus E cos theta by E sin theta. So that means beta is equal to tan inverse of 1 plus E cos theta by E sin theta. So we have arrived at the angle between the radius vector and the tangent. Okay. Now let's take d theta by dr. So how did we get this? We had differentiated it, the equation of the conic. So now we take R square to the other side. So we end up with d theta by dr is equal to L by E times R square sine theta. Again, taking the reciprocal, we get dr by d theta is equal to E times R square times sine theta by L. Let's substitute R. R is what? Here we can get it from the equation itself. R is equal to L by 1 plus E cos theta, the whole square, times sine theta divided by L. So simplifying this, we get dr by d theta is equal to E times L square sine theta divided by L times 1 plus E cos theta square. That gives us dr by d theta is equal to E times L times sine theta by 1 plus E cos theta, the whole square. L and L gets cancelled. That is our polar subnormal. Okay. Now, the pedal equation. dr by d theta is equal to R square times E times sine theta by L. From here we got this. Now, we know 1 by p square is equal to 1 by r square plus 1 by r to the power of 4 times dr by d theta squared. This we had seen in one of our previous seconds. Let's substitute dr by d theta with r square times e times sine theta by L. We get 1 by p square is equal to 1 by r square plus 1 by r to the power of 4 times r to the power of 4 times e square times sine square theta by L square. Opening up the bracket, we get 1 by p square is equal to 1 by r square plus r4 gets cancelled. We are left with e square times sine square theta by L square. Let's take out 1 by L square as common out. There's nothing, the L square is not common, but we take it out so that in the first term inside the bracket, we get L square in the numerator, and in the denominator, we get R square, so that they cancel out when we multiply. Plus E square times sine square theta. So we have 1 by P square is equal to 1 by L square times L square by R square plus E square times sine square theta. We substitute it with 1 minus cos square theta. Okay. Let's proceed further. 1 by P square is equal to 1 by L square times L square by R square plus E square minus E square cos square theta. So we open up this bracket. Okay. Now 1 by P square is equal to 1 by L square times L by R square minus L by R minus 1 square plus E square. Now how did we get this? Since L by R is equal to 1 plus E cos theta implies L by R minus 1 is equal to E cos theta. So since we have E cos theta square, it becomes L by R minus 1 square. 1 by P square is equal to 1 by L square times L by R square minus, taking care of this squaring of this, we get L by R square minus 2L by R plus 1 plus E square. So finally we get 1 by P square is equal to 1 by L square times, these two get cancelled out, minus into minus plus 2L by R, minus into plus minus 1 plus E square. And that is the pedal equation. So we have arrived at the angle between the radius vector and the tangent to a curve, to a conic specifically, subtangent, subnormal, and the pedal equation. Again, let me remind you, there is a link to a PDF book which describes all these in detail. Please feel free to download it, refer to it. And if you think somebody else can also benefit from it, please do share. That's it for now.